Hi there, how you doing? My name is Lee, and I'm the crazy old man, also called the crazy old white man, and wrote a book called The Crazy Old White Man from the Hood. And every once in a while I'm going to give you a little part of that book, just as a teaser. And if you want to read the book, I also have an audio file of it. Go to archive.org and put in the search engine Lee Gaylord, and it'll come up with the book and also a lot of other things that I did. Now, I'm going to tell you, I call it Where's Mama? Give you a little background first. A while back, I was in my favorite bar, the Chicago Lounge, and I was shooting pool. And a beautiful lady came in. And I sort of interrupted my game of pool, and I was winning. She went to the jukebox and said, "Where do I put in my quarters?" I said, "Well, it takes dollar bills." And I took my last dollar. No, I take that back. I took a dollar and put it in there for her. And had $1.50 left. So I said to her, I said, I'd love to take you out, but I don't have the money, so I can't. And she went up to the bar, and I lost the game of pool. So I went and sat next to her, talked to her, and I bought her a beer with my last $1.50, and I had a glass of water. And she said that she had a blind. "What's my phone number? What's your phone number so I can give you a call?" And so I gave her my phone number, thinking nothing of it. And I went home. Lo and behold, about a half hour later, I got a phone call from her. She only lived about 3 or 4 blocks from me. And she said, "I got some corned beef and cabbage. You want some?" So sure, sounds good. So she told me where she lived and said, "How fast can you get here?" I said, "Well, it'll be about 15 minutes. She said, "Why so long?" "You can walk it in 5. And I said, "Well, I need to shave." And she said, "If you aren't here in 5 minutes, I'm not going to open the door." So I went, and we both fell in love with each other. And a few days later, I was living in my office, and the front part of the office, which was another business, caught on fire. And I had smoke damage in my office, and she said, "You can't stay here. Why don't you stay at my place for about 3 days, and then you can come back to the office?" Well, the 3 days ended up being 6 months. Anyway, we split up a few times. Then we were living together in a house that I was renting, and it was in both our names, but she was a crack addict, and she was at a drug house, and the person who had the house she knew. And at about 3 in the morning, her daughter comes up And she called me Daddy. And she said, Daddy, where's Mama? I said, well, she's over at Joan's house. And she said, I can't sleep. Could you go get her? I said, sure. So I woke up her older brother and said, stay awake until I get back. And keep an eye on your sister. He said, where are you going? I said, get your mama. He said, it's about time. So I went to get Mama. Now, she was in the projects, and it was nice projects. They were townhouses, I guess you call them. And so I go there and go on the front door, and she's in the kitchen playing cards and smoking crack. So I went back there and I said, baby, it's time to go. Our daughter needs you, and she can't sleep until you come home. And she didn't like the idea, and a guy came in from another room, said, are you having a problem, miss? And I looked at him and said, look, if you don't stay out of this, I'm going to kick your ass. I said it more colorfully than that. And he just turned around and walked out. Anyway, I said, look, I'm going to get in the car. If you aren't out there in 5 minutes, I'm going to move out. So she was out there. I took her home. And we had split up right after that. And not too long after that. And I ran into the gal whose place it was. And she had moved, and she was staying with her sister. And she was off the drugs. And she told me, whatever you do, don't tell Brenda where I am, because every time I'd get off the drugs, she'd get me back on them. I said, okay. She said, oh, by the way, that night that you went to get her, the guy came in and you sent out, he went in the other room and there was a guy in there. The guy said, is there a problem? He said, just leave that crazy old white man alone. And the funny part about it is both of them were packing, but they thought I was. And I learned quite early that when you're in a position, you never, not only don't show fear, but you don't have fear. And you always act tough. And you have to be believable. And I used to scare the hell out of people. When I get mad, I'd turn red and I'd yell. I was very loud, and I was a pretty big guy. So that was the story, Where's Mama? And every once in a while I'm going to come up with a story about, it's from my book. And I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you go check out the book. You can download it for free, either audio or a PDF file, whichever you want. So I hope you get it. And I thank you.